Hi everyone, I'm Holly and I'm the maker here at Missouri River Soap. And in this video today, I am going to make winterberry soap. It is a blend of just cranberries and berries and apples and warm spices. And it just smells oh so good. I plan to reopen my store at MoRiverSoap.com around the end of November or beginning of December, so please follow along on my social media if you're interested in being there for the release. You can find me on Instagram at MoRiverSoap, and on Facebook I'm Missouri River Soap. So I'm going to get all my gear on for safety, and I will meet you back here in just a moment to make some soap. Okay, so I am back, and it is actually now a different day altogether. And so I'm going to attempt to get this one done today. Yesterday a few things went awry and I just was not able to get it accomplished. So let me think here. I'm a little concerned that this one is going to accelerate, but we're just going to have to see how it goes. So I have my coconut milk here, and I'm going to go ahead and get that added in. It has been an interesting morning here already. I came out and it was cold. This mini split can't handle this type of cold, so we're gonna have to come up with an alternate source for heating. It does pretty well, but it just comes to a point where it has to defrost because it's been really cold. And then we have our vault that holds our water pressure tank and stuff like that. We had it uncovered because we're getting ready to run water lines to the house portion. And wouldn't you know, this cold came in so fast that our water actually froze up this morning. It didn't take very long to get it thawed out, but we panicked a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to put in the lye solution, and because this lye solution has been waiting, it's nice and cool. It's a little bit cloudy because I was working with a redacted, that's a whole another thing, reduced water, but after my last batch kind of went a little bit nutty, I decided that I would add a little bit more water back into it. So it's a little bit cloudy and some of the lye lint has dissolved a bit, but I am actually going to strain this still. Just to make sure that we are good to go here. And this was completely clear until I added in a little bit more water. But it's not warm. Sometimes the lye solution will heat back up when you add more water to it, but it did not. So that's good. Alright, so I'm going to get this all blended in together. I like to keep this big spatula in there to help me really move it around, and so I'm not completely scraping the stick blender on the bottom the whole time. Still happens, but it does reduce it quite a bit. Now I do just want it at emulsification, and it's looking pretty good. My mini split over there is working overtime. I don't know if you can hear it or not. We did have a little space heater in here helping me out, but it had to go to the vault. So I think I'm going to get one of those cute little fireplace infrared type heaters. I love those. So might have to do that for in here. So anytime somebody says apples and spice. I get a little bit nervous. Of course, it's a little bit yellow. I was told that it doesn't discolor, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It definitely has like a cranberry and a fig and just like that brightness, and then it has like a gourmand, just like baked, and I almost smell some peppermint, though there's no peppermint around, but I like right now I feel like it smells like the peppermint cookie wax melts that I've done before. Isn't that funny? I have reduced it quite a bit. The usage rate on both of these fragrances are 3 to 6%. And so I decided to go a little bit lower on the both of them because I feel like they're gonna pack a punch. I did the same with my juniper and balsam type one that I'm calling Evergreen. We're looking really good so far. I think I'm just gonna continue just to stir, like, okay. I feel like I'm managing a lot of things that have to be scraped here. Because I'm going to give these a blend with their colors here in just a little bit. So I'm going to, I did not do that very well. I'm going to stir this in. You know, I've had acceleration with anything that says apple and spice, so I decided to be cautious. I was soaping at a 32% lye concentration, some 33, 34, but I decided to back off to 30 on this one. That's usually my happy place. If I know a fragrance is really, really going to accelerate, I will go to 26 or 28% lye solution. But I'm wanting this to do its thing a little quicker than that this time. So it's time to learn what this batch size is going to do in these pitchers. I think it's not all going to fit in the 4, but I have been surprised on other occasions. I'm just going to go to the 2-liter mark for right this minute, and then I will add 2. I did bring a 5th because I'm going to leave the base uncolored. So if I need to fill a 5th with just so that I can have it in a pitcher and make my life easier. But we'll see. I might just go ahead and pour in what's left. I think I'll do that. I think what I'll do is pour in what's left into the mold from here. Ouch! I squashed my finger. All right. So then I have 3 colors that I want to do. I've mixed a little gold and a little bit of, wow. That was my brain completely letting me down. I've mixed a little purple and pink together to make it a little less of a bluish purple. And I do have some gold here. I set the gold down and then started talking about the purple, and I think that was my problem. And then this one is a little bit of a red and a pink together. I was using the rest of my colorants mixed up from Mary Cranberry on the pink red and also on the gold. I have to do my dishes tomorrow, so I'm running a little low on spatulas. Oh, goodness gracious, that was a mess. Again, because I do have some of the base color as the uncolored going in, if I don't get these 100% blended, it's not going to be a problem. Alright, I'm going to give these all just a little bit more of a blend again because of the fragrance. just to double check, but it is getting thick. Let's see, go in here. All right, so I have that base color in, so I'm just going to start pouring these alternate colors in. It'll be interesting to see how the gold and the base color ends up varying. I'm definitely glad that I had that little extra water. Otherwise, I do believe I'd be in a pickle at the moment. I was kind of basing this off of, I used to make a soap called Autumn Berry, and it was so pretty. I did use titanium dioxide in that, and I decided to go natural with this one. So this is the uncolored one. Oh, it's so pretty. Whew. Arm is getting tired. Been dealing with my arms and hands going numb again. Before we left Missouri, my body had pretty much strengthened to the point where I didn't have that anymore unless I was making a whole lot of soap and pouring a whole bunch like at Christmas time. So that's back, but I think I'll strengthen up again. My body just has to get used to it is all. I guess I'll do the 3 pours, since we're going okay here. Oh, this is going to be so beautiful. Unless it goes brown, in which case, who knows. It does have, I do not like it when they do that. It does have that vanilla in it. I got corrected the other day on how I was appropriately supposed to say it, but I don't remember what it was. Vanillin? I don't know, Van Halen? Let's go with something. You all know what I mean, don't you, when I say vanillin? And if not, I suppose you can look it up. Alright, let's go in with the purple. The person was very nice. There's nothing wrong with correcting my pronunciation. That's why I say titanium dioxide. I kept getting corrected that I was saying dioxide. Wait, it's not like duh. It's not dioxide. And duh, I know that, but maybe sometimes I speak quickly because I always say dioxide. It comes out dioxide in my brain and in my head. But whether it sounds a little bit different, I don't know. Not intentional. But people looking out for me, they don't want me to sound like a goober, so it's not like it's not appreciated. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. That is just dandy. So I was going to use the hanger tool. Let me envision what it looks like inside for just a moment. I think I'm going to leave it. I really do. And if we have regrets, then we will have regrets. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. Such a beautiful day here today. We had some like freezing fog. Oh, that just makes everything so beautiful. It's pretty much melted now, but the freezing fog was pretty spectacular. Alright, it's time to go in with a spoon again because I kind of need to level it off. Otherwise, it's just going to be obnoxiously tall in some places. Okay, so I'm just going to just give it a little bit of something. Was hoping to do some different things with this batch, but that did not happen. I did debate whether I should actually make this one at all, but I don't have a lot of other fragrances right now. My goal is to not buy fragrances for the most part. So, and at least not have more than what I know I am 100% going to use, because I had way too many fragrances. No more just buying because like, oh, that sounds fun and I have to have it. No more of that. Okay, so here we have the Winterberry soap, and I will be back in probably a couple of days to unmold and cut it. Okay, so I've been cutting this Winterberry soap and it smells just so good. So I just love how the swirls turned out in this. Isn't that just so pretty? So we can see where the gold was, of a little bit of gold there and kind of splashing down here. But you can also see down here where it's discoloring. So this was kind of a middle loaf, but it's discoloring there on the bottom, and it will all end up, I would assume all of the more yellowy parts will go this kind of tan color. We'll see, which I think actually is gonna work out better than this kind of crazy yellow. So you can kind of see the gold here and then the yellow there. And that gives you an idea of the discoloration. And the discoloration is caused by the vanillin in the fragrance. Now, I know we discussed the whole vanillin thing on the main video. So I just let a lady on the internet tell me that you can call it vanillin. And she said also vanillin. Vanillin, kind of like lanolin. It kind of reminded me of kind of like saying lanolin. But anyway, she said that vanillin is also an appropriate pronunciation. So I'm just gonna keep going with my vanillin. Oh, that's pretty. So the swirls really turned out on this one after all. I was a little bit concerned and I wasn't sure if I was going to be super happy with this batch, but oh my goodness, yes, I'm very happy with this batch. Oh wow. It's just the nicest warm. It's not like fully apple, it's not fully cranberry, it's just a warmth and spice and comforting, and it kind of makes me think of grandma and Christmas. I think you're going to love it. Plus it does have a little bit of like that earthiness that makes you think, you know, like a winter berry, like if you were to see a holly bush or, you know, whatever, you kind of get that little bit of a kind of spicy, just a little bit spicy note from the leaves and everything. Oh, this turned out great. And I am looking forward to seeing the discoloration. I'm not putting pictures at the end of my video because I'm not prepared to do pictures quite yet. I did buy a new digital camera and I need to mess around with it, but I think for my videos, we don't have to have a picture at the end. It's totally cool. We'll see a picture closer to when it's going to be released or after it's released on the social medias and on my website, moriversoap.com. Oh, I love it. This turned out so good. And like I said, I was a little concerned about this one. I didn't feel like I was going to be super excited about it, but I'm excited. I think this one is just fantastic. Fantastic. This, the warmth. It's just warmth and cozy and delightful. Yes, that's very nice. And it brought in my, you know, pinks and purples there. It's not like a straight up pink. It's a little bit more pink inside right now because it hasn't discolored yet. But this top is going to be fairly accurate representation. It has been many days already since I made this soap. Our snow is melting and everything is looking good. So it will go darker. Definitely leaving myself room for, you know, it to be a little bit more discolored than it is now. But usually if it's going to be really discolored, you start seeing like some brown splotches in there. That's what like the really strong ones like to do. So yeah, we're doing well here. I am fixing to make some more soap this afternoon, and then I think I will be done with my holiday lineup for this release. Tentatively planning December 1st. I feel like that would be a really great day, and it would give me a couple of weeks to pack before you start hitting the holiday deadlines. I was just trying to go with more like wintry soap this year. I have my Merry Cranberry, but I was trying to go with the more wintry so that we can just keep going if they don't make it there quite in time. I'm a little behind this year with it taking so long to get the workshop up and running, but we are just going to make do and we're going to be happy about it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll follow along on social media and you'll be aware of when the release is ready to go live. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.